Some people in this sport lose everything because the sport takes it from them. Destroyed bodies, failed organs, careers cut short before they ever reach their peak. That is one kind of tragedy. But the people on this list are different because the sport did not take what they lost. They lost it themselves. By the end of this list, you will understand exactly how quickly it can all disappear. Number 1, Lonnie Willison. In 2012, Lonnie Willison was exactly where she wanted to be. NPC West Coast Classic champion, fitness model, a career that was just getting started. Then she married Jeremy Jackson, the actor from Baywatch. 2 years later, she left the relationship with 2 broken ribs and other injuries. Jackson went to prison for 270 days. But here is the thing nobody expected. Jackson walked out of prison and rebuilt his life. Lonnie never recovered. Her fitness career collapsed overnight. She lost 2 jobs. Then she lost her home. She disappeared for 2 years completely. When she resurfaced in 2018, the woman who had stood on competition stages was collecting food from garbage cans on the streets of California, fighting a believing she was connected to a power grid and was a threat to everyone around her. Friends offered help. Strangers offered help. Professionals offered help. She refused every single time. She is still out there today, a competition trophy somewhere collecting dust, while the woman who won it collects food from trash cans. The next woman on this list was even closer to the very top, and what happened to her is even harder to watch. Number 2, Denise Rakowski. In 1993, Denise Rakowski finished second at the Miss Olympia. The only woman who beat her that year was Linda Murray, one of the greatest female bodybuilders in history. That is how good she was. In 10 career appearances, she lost only twice. Every other competition she entered, she won. A title was coming. Everyone could see it. Then she walked away. She returned to Texas, attended Bible school for 2 years, and began traveling the country preaching the gospel. She said publicly, "I am blessed to be out of the bodybuilding business and not be forced to take performance-enhancing." For a while, it seemed like she had found peace. She had not. What followed was a slow and painful collapse. Mental health deteriorated. She lost her job as a fitness trainer because she could not stop preaching to her clients. She was arrested multiple times, once for fleeing police, once for preaching in a restaurant driveway. Her mother was eventually quoted saying that Denise was either staying in a night shelter or sleeping outside with homeless groups. A woman who was one competition away from being Ms. Olympia champion, sleeping under the stars, not because the sport broke her body, because it broke everything else. The next person on this list was training partners with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he died with a ticket home in his pocket. Number 3, Bill Pettis. In the golden era of bodybuilding, one name stopped people in their tracks. Not Arnold, not Lou Ferrigno, Bill Pettis. The man had arms measuring 23 3/4 inches. During an era when Arnold Schwarzenegger's arms were 56 centimeters, Bill Pettis had 59. He was Arnold's favorite training partner at Gold's Gym Venice. Arnold himself said, Bill had the biggest arms he had ever seen. He appeared on the official advertising poster for the 1984 Olympic Games. The world was watching, and Bill Pettis did nothing with it. While his training partners built careers, businesses, and legacies, Pettis stayed exactly where he was. Venice Beach, same gym, same conversations, same stories about the same arms. Joe Gold, the owner of Gold's Gym, kept him afloat for years out of loyalty. When Gold died in 2004, the last safety net was gone. Pettis became homeless. Alcohol took over completely. On September 27, 2016, he was found dead in a creek bed, drowned. He was 69 years old. In his pocket was a ticket home to Pennsylvania. His family had been waiting for him. In his bag, photographs from his bodybuilding days, the only thing he had held on to. Arnold sent a statement. He called Bill one of his favorite training partners, said he had the biggest heart he had ever seen, the biggest arms in the world, a ticket home he never used, and a bag full of memories from better days. The next man on this list did not fade away quietly. He destroyed 2 lives and is spending the rest of his own behind bars. Number 4, Bertil Fox. In the 1980s, Bertil Fox was one of the most feared names in professional bodybuilding. Born in St. Kitts, raised in England, he built a physique that dominated every room he walked into. Multiple IFBB Pro wins. a reputation as one of the most massively built competitors of his generation, a career that put him in conversations with the greatest names of his era. He had everything the sport could offer. Then in 1997, in St. Kitts, Bertil Fox, his fiancée, Laoka Brown, and her mother, Violet Brown, outside a bridal shop. Two women, outside a wedding dress store. He was convicted of 1998 and sentenced to death. That sentence was later commuted to life in prison with no possibility of parole. He has been behind bars ever since. Nobody knows exactly what happened that day. Nobody knows what built up inside him over years of extreme training, extreme substances, and extreme pressure. What is known is this: a man who spent decades building one of the most powerful physiques in bodybuilding history used that strength to destroy two innocent lives. The trophies are somewhere. The career is a footnote. And Bertil Fox will die in a prison cell. The next entry is not one person, it is two. A husband and wife, both world-class competitors, who threw everything away in one night in Las Vegas. Number 5, Craig Titus and Kelly Ryan. Craig Titus was a 1996 bodybuilding champion and a Mr. Olympia competitor. Kelly Ryan was Miss Fitness America and Miss Olympia runner-up. Together, they were one of the most recognizable couples in professional bodybuilding. Magazine covers, sponsorship deals, a life that looked like the definition of success. They had built their careers side by side and were known everywhere in the sport. Then came December 2005. Melissa James was 28 years old. She lived with the couple as their personal assistant. From the outside, it looked like a normal professional arrangement. Behind closed doors, something had gone very wrong. On December 14, 2005, Melissa James's body was found in the trunk of Kelly Ryan's red Jaguar, abandoned on a remote desert road outside Las Vegas. The car had been set on fire. Her body was burned beyond recognition. Police traced the vehicle back to Ryan within hours. What the investigation revealed was one of the most disturbing cases the sport had ever been connected to. Prosecutors presented evidence that Melissa James had been attacked with a taser, drugged with morphine, bound with duct tape, and strangled. Then her body was placed in the trunk, and the car was set on fire in the Nevada desert. Titus and Ryan did not wait around. They fled Nevada immediately, crossing the country and making their way to Massachusetts. Titus told a business associate he planned to liquidate his assets and leave the country entirely. 9 days later, federal agents and local police found them in a grocery store parking lot in a suburb of Boston. Ryan was getting her nails done at a nearby salon. Titus was waiting outside. They were arrested, extradited back to Las Vegas, and charged with first-degree murder. Both initially pleaded not guilty. Then, just days before the trial was set to begin, they changed their pleas. Craig Titus pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, first-degree kidnapping, and arson. He was sentenced to 21 to 55 years in prison. He is still there today. Kelly Ryan pleaded guilty to arson and battery with a deadly weapon. She was sentenced to 3 to 13 years. She served 12 years and was released in 2017. Two world-class athletes, two magazine cover physiques, two careers that represented everything the sport celebrates. One night in Las Vegas ended all of it. Melissa James was 28 years old. She had her whole life ahead of her. And the couple who took it from her had been on the covers of the same fitness magazines she probably once admired. The final name on this list never committed a crime, never ended up homeless, never lost his mind. He simply had everything and threw it away with both hands. Number 6, Callum Von Moger. Some people are handed everything. Callum Von Moger was one of those people. The Australian bodybuilder had genetics that coaches spend entire careers trying to find in athletes. Wide shoulders, tiny waist, perfect muscle insertions, a physique that looked like it had been designed specifically to win Mr. Olympia. People who saw him train in his early years said the same thing. This is the next Arnold, and that comparison was not casual. Callum Von Moger looked so much like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger that Hollywood came calling. He was cast to play Arnold in the biographical film Bigger. He walked red carpets. He had millions of followers. He had sponsorships. He had a documentary made about his life. He had everything Arnold had at the same age, except Arnold's discipline. The injuries started because of carelessness, not bad luck, not freak accidents. Carelessness. He tore his bicep attempting a weight that had no purpose other than showing off. a curl, not a competition lift, not a training necessity. A show-off curl that ended his ability to compete at the highest level. A serious competitor would have taken recovery seriously, would have followed the protocol, would have protected what he had built. Callum treated recovery the same way he treated everything else. Then came the drug use. Methamphetamine addiction became public. The physique that had taken years to build began deteriorating in real time in front of his own audience. Then in 2021, he fell from a third-floor balcony. The full details were never made completely clear, but the damage to his body was serious and undeniable. Hollywood stopped calling. Sponsorships disappeared. The bodybuilding career that should have produced multiple Olympia titles produced none. Arnold Schwarzenegger went from Mr. Universe to Mr. Olympia to Hollywood legend to Governor of California. Callum von Moger went from being called the next Arnold to being a cautionary tale that most people in the sport have already stopped talking about. No major title, no Hollywood career, no legacy, just the memory of what he could have been, and the long list of decisions that made sure he never got there. The most painful part of his story is not what happened to him. It is that nothing had to happen to him at all. He was handed a gift that most bodybuilders spend their entire lives chasing and never find. And he put it down himself. 6 stories, 6 different roads, 6 completely different ways to lose everything. Some of them never had a chance. The pressure, the substances, the environment they were in, it was always going to end somewhere dark. But some of them did have a chance, a real one. And they looked at everything they had built, every sacrifice, every competition, every year of their lives poured into this sport, and they let it go anyway. Bodybuilding demands everything from the people who chase it, but the sport did not take what these 6 people lost. They carried it to the edge themselves, and then they let go. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs to see it, and tell me in the comments, which of these 6 stories hit you the hardest?